Good morning, everyone. Today I woke up and decided to share with you the trade setup that I took last week. You never know, you can pick out something that will help you in the next week or even more. You keep using it because this is how I actually analyze the market before I take a trade. For example, I actually took this trade on EUR. I think it was on the 8th. Yeah, probably last week. The trade played out very perfectly. Which one is this? Let me check for you clearly. This is exactly what I wanted to tell you. Yeah, you will learn a lot today. Now, before you take a trade or before you start your analysis, first make sure that the broker you're using and will actually give you something important too, or will actually let your chart show you what you're going to trade, because some brokers have charts that actually don't add up. Now this time I used let me see, the broker was FXCM. Yeah, that's the broker that I used. Yeah, sometimes in some other pairs that broker can actually also deny some things, but this time it played out very perfectly. So first of all, I had to make sure that I get very good breaks of market structure. We have one break of market structure right here. Let me show you. That was a very clear break of structure because price was moving to the downside. Initially, we can actually call it a change of character. Just take it like that, because price was in a downtrend and then it changed. It made a shift. That is a very change of character. Then we wait for the mitigation that will happen in discounted zones of that move, because we have to target this level, okay, from this leg to the next leg where market pushed to, and then we wait for a retracement. So all we have to do is to find the points of interest where price will reverse from. We had this point of interest, we had this point of interest, that's another one. There were very many. Let me see if this one, no, that was not varied. Now we see price actually retraced from that level, and of course these were very many weeks ago, and boom, that was a take profit hit. So this is where we found the market. Actually, we found it breaking this structure, so we are targeting. Let me clear this chart so that I can show you how I printed everything. Now this is a break of market structure that I'm talking about. That is a break of market structure that I'm talking about. Now price, after breaking that market structure, it was too evident that price was supposed to return back to our discounted zones. Now we had to first identify all the points of interest that were in our discounted zones. For example, we had this point of interest, reverse market, so really that one. Then we have another point of interest, which is right here. Traders, always remember that if you are marking points of interest, make sure that they are in a very bigger time frame. For example, the 4H. Actually, our trading style works in 3 major time frames: the bigger time frame, which is the 4H, the intermediate time frame, the minute 15, and the 1 minute entry. That's where we enter from to minimize the losses and make sure that the price actually works very smartly. If it doesn't work in that area, then we know that that trade is very invalid. Now let's see here how price reacted right here. Now we came and identified that this area contained a lot of liquidity right here. You can see these are buy positions lying here. Those are all buyers kicking in the market. Those sellers were also in the power. You can see that's where a consolidation actually happened. Sellers pushing the market and also buyers doing the same. You see all those consolidations building out all that liquidity, but finally price had to sweep the sellers. You can see here price was had swept all these orders, and then after it had to sweep the orders in the downside, and then finally it had to continue its movement. So what we had to do was to make sure that we observe all the reactions on this level. This level, all we needed was price to come on this level, tap here like this. We see the first break of structure to the upside. We wanted to see something like this because it had finished taking out all these stop losses, all those, because we also have this liquidity lying here. It is a very, very strong liquidity lying over there, but all we needed here on this point was to see here on that area. We needed to see price coming down, continue to the downside, then finally price shifts structure, it mitigates, and then we enter. So our entry should always be on this mitigation. That's how we enter our trades. Now let's this chart is so congested, man. I decided to make this live because I know it can help someone out there. There might be one mistake that you've been doing that has been making you unprofitable, but today you are going to solve it. Let me show you what happens right here on this level. I think I should make it very unique. Maybe I will change the color. Let me change the color to maybe something like green. Oh shit. Okay, I should fill it like with some green color. Okay, there you can analyze it perfectly. So I told you have to use the 4H. This is what you see. So if I want to analyze the bigger markets and all that stuff, this is when I use this. But then I don't use them more often. I use the 4H, the minute 15, actually the 5 minute. It's not good actually for the entries, but we have to use the minute 1. Now of course we have to use minute 15. Let's see if the shift actually happened as we expected. Now we see price sloping, reversing, okay, retracing, and price goes below this level. That is another break of market structure to the downside. Then after price retraces, and then you see this. Let me first this is a clear break of market structure, as you can see. Then finally we see price shifting, making it a change of character, which is a change of character, as we can see. Then we wait. So we have to read here. This is where many people are stopped out. If you can't identify liquidity, then you will become liquidity, and then price after sweeping you, it will have to go. Now you can see here, you see that the market has been too sufficient, that there is no gap. The only gap there is this from here up to here. So this becomes the real liquidity. So price built liquidity over there to sweep it, and then after it goes. Price generates liquidity, sweeps liquidity, and rebalances. Okay, you know what that means. It creates gaps and fills them. It creates liquidity and sweeps liquidity. So it generated liquidity which it will sweep, and then after it will bounce off. Now this is the liquidity that price created. So if we were to select a point of interest, of course we would choose this one. Let me see. And it's fair value gap. So we see that price, after tapping in the fair value gap, it had to start leaving perfectly. So here is the change of character in the 1 minute. Let's try and see if price will reach. Yeah, I'm sure price has reached our point of interest. Now let's wait and see if price simply shifted very well. Okay, here price shifted. Now this is exactly what we want to see before we enter our trades. That is a very clear break of structure to the downside, and then finally price shifts. Also we have another shift in the 1 minute. So this is when you enter a risk-free trade. This is a change of character in the 1 minute time frame. That is a very entry confirmation. Price also managed to reach our discounted zones, and then we enter targeting the extreme high. You can enter as much as you want actually. Even over leveraging there is allowed, because you can have confirmed everything by yourself. Let me see. So when we are trading, you don't need to just jump into just seeing a wick and you just trade like that. You just enter your orders, because that's why I don't trade trend lines, man. Now actually, when you're trading trend lines, but then it can also work if you feel like this strategy is very hard for you. Yet I'm sure this is the simplest strategy that you can actually trade. But I think when I was right here, I saw this market, so I decided to actually add in more entries, and this is where I added more entries. Price had to break, and then here we had a change of character. Then I added in more entries, targeting the 4H. Guys, the market is very, very simple. It's not something that is hard to trade. Let us see. You can see our take profit was hit. I tried to share this with you yesterday, but I don't know what happened. Okay, I think I was supposed to share it on, was it on Wednesday? I think it was on Wednesday. I wanted to share with you this trade, but guys, just always stay tuned. I'll be doing live sessions. I know most people like trading gold. I actually have a very, very best strategy for trading gold. Now when you look at this setup, it was a very, very good premium setup, very high probabilities trade, but I don't know actually, but I know most of you have learned a lot today, so I'll be setting off. There I never even went for church, man, but I think I have to end my live stream right now. Thank you guys for watching. You can subscribe, leave the comment. You can leave a comment in the, you can also actually like, you have to like the video. 7 viewing.